Reporter 2. How will your royal family and other royal families around the world be taken care of as far as money in the future? It will be instated when the people of the world answer yes or no to what percentage they would like to donate to support the Chali Royal Family Fund or any royalty out there in the world. The Chali Royal Family Fund will be opened up to all the people of the world to choose to donate a small percentage from their cost of living allowance given monthly, where other royalties will have only the jurisdiction of the people that fall under their rule within the kingdom. It could consist of multiple territories under their jurisdiction of rule. Realize the most anyone would be able to donate per month would be under $1, and that would be due to having to live in a region on earth that has the controlling of royalty. There will be an option to donate to whatever countries that have royalty in them, with the same set standard for the people to donate equally depending on where they're at in the world. It will be withdrawn or deducted from your account the amount to receive of whatever counties or districts cost of living is set at. There will be a list of questions that will have to be answered, along with the different important information that will be needed from each individual when signed up from the New World Policy. When you sign up, there will be 3 options to choose from. The first option will be, I would not like to contribute to the Royal Family Fund. And the second option would be, I would like to donate 10,000% to the Royal Family Fund from my cost of living allowance each month. That would be 10,000% or equal to 0.015 or 0.045 cents deducted from everyone's pay monthly cost of living allowance that selected this option. And a third option will be, I choose to donate 1,000% of my cost of living allowance to the Royal Family Fund. This would equal to 15 to 45 cents per month per person on average. This will be the same selection for all people who fall into a royal category, where I suggest that the people should choose to support their ancestry of royalty across the world. How the Chali Royal Family Tree will be set up. There will be 3 main branches for money to come in, and will be divided accordingly. The first branch will absorb 60% of the total made each month of the Chali Royal Family Fund. The second branch will absorb 30%, and the third branch will absorb 10%, to equal 100% total money granted or given from the people of the world. The system will allow it to divide evenly with the members of the Royal Family Tree equally through each tier for all members, and stated by me, Scott Leroy Chali, of who I will accept in the Royal Family Tree while I'm alive. The first branch will have 400 concubines that I choose to bear my future family, where all 400 women will be in a palace together, where they'll receive 60% of the total Chali Royal Family Fund amongst them until each woman bears a child. I figured each woman that dedicates their life to me and raises our children that we bear together will get on an average between 3.5 to 35 million a year. Realize this branch, along with all 3 branches, will have 4 different tiers in them. This is for when the future generations are born. If all 4 tiers have family within the 400 women, the first tier will receive 30% of the money donated from the world. Then the second tier would receive 50% of their mother's percentage from the 400 divided evenly of the 60%. Of the 400 women, they would each have 0.25% to inherit part of the 60% allotted total of the Chally Royal Family Fund for each branch. The second tier down would receive or fall 30% that is allotted for tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 until they have children or a child. Then it would be 18%, and then the third tier down would receive 40% and of 30% from the parent of tier 2, which then tier 3 will be 12% until he or she has a bloodline child. Then he or she will get 8%. And the fourth tier, or the last one, would receive 33.333% of the parent's share, or 4% amongst everyone or all children in that bracket, to be evenly divided out. Or a better way of putting it, when the concubines have children from me, then they would only get 30% of the gifted money divided from the 60% between the 400 women from that leg branch. So since the newborn child will actually be making 30% of the one of the 400 women, since the child have not birthed any children. Until they do, they will receive or get 30% from the mother's share of the Chally Royal Family Fund, and after they have a child, this will reduce their share to 18%, and the new child will be getting 12% from their mother or father in the direct bloodline. When the fourth generation comes, it will receive 4% from the bloodline parent of 12%, leaving that tier to the parent to be at 8%. The percentage per branch must equal out to 100%. Bracket will be received the full 60% of the Chally Royal Family Fund amongst the 400 women until they bear children from me. The second main branch of the Chally Royal Family Tree will be receiving a total of 30% to me and my 7 children and their kids they shall have in generations to come from the people of the world. I will be receiving 15% for being the first tier for the world's total donation to the Chally Royal Family Fund. And the 7 children will be receiving 15% to start with, divided up evenly amongst the 7 of them, or 50% from the father's total of 30% that is used for the Messiah's branch line. My children will be reduced to 8%, or 46.44 or 46.666% will come from the parent of the second tier when they have a child or children, and their newborn will be getting 7% due to the fact that he or she hasn't had a child yet. The last bracket will receive 42.857 from the third tier bloodline parent to equal 3% total from the siblings in tier 4 of this leg of the tree. The first tier of all 3 branches will be the standard for the set amounts coming in from the Chally Royal Family Fund, unless that leg doesn't have any children or family. When he or she passes away, their leg will be absorbed into all the other legs of the first tier branch. Each person in the first tier will be receiving a max total for the leg to be divided out between the 4 tiers of generations that is meant to separate each leg immediate family members. The percentage allotted for each tier will be divided between the number of children in each tier from the parent granting part of their percentage to the next lower tier. It will be a set standard for the branch to grant a percentage for the next lower tier in the leg. Back to my immediate family line, where the fourth line tier, where the child gets 3% of the 7%, leaving the parent with 4% that they are allotted for tier 3. And for the last bracket or limb on the Challey Royal Family Tree will be of a total of 10% of the world donation divided up according to all I feel worthy to receive money from the Challey Royal Family Fund. At this time it shall be of my aunts, uncles, first sons, mothers, parents, and of her aunts and uncles, and my wife's aunts and uncles, and of her sister's brother-in-law, my wife's mom. This will equal to about 31 members to hold the first tier in the branch of the 10% of the total Challey Royal Family Fund. For the second tier, it will be 6% given, or 60% of the bloodline parents allotting money, but there are no dependents, or if there are no dependents, there will get the full 10% of the total Royal Family Fund divided between the 31 members of the first tier. Remember, the second tier will now have 3%, while the first tier will have 4% of that leg's share of money. The children of the third tier from the second tier parent will get divided between all the siblings of the third tier of 3% or 50% from the parent's share of the wealth, unless it is a bloodline child born into the fourth tier, where that new member of the family will get 1% or 33.333 of their bloodline parent from tier 3, and then the parent of the third tier will get 2%. When someone dies within a branch, for instance, if it's me, my children will move to the first tier of 15%. If they have no kids in their tier under them, they will be receiving 30% between the 7 that are in that first tier. All 7 will be evenly divided out, and when my kids have kids, where their kids would be eventually divided in the second tier from each parent, leg, or ancestor of the Challey Royal Family Tree. Their parents will receive 15% divided up amongst the 7 kids in tier 1 of, if there are no more than 2 children receiving the next higher tier, revolving to the next higher tier, they will only be able to collect the share from that immediate family member who have passed. Like, for instance, being the children of my aunts and uncles who have passed away, where their kids will all move up to the next higher tier in the bloodline. They will be divided up amongst the tier allotted percentage granted for the parent or the member that moves on to heaven. So it will always hold that divided amount for the number held bloodline slots to be paid out. That way no branch will get off weighted, taking someone's family line entitlement of money. If a branch shall not have any bloodline children to carry on the generations, that line will be terminated after all surviving dependents have perished. So out of my 7 kids, if one chooses not to have a bloodline child or adopted children, when they perish from their allotment of money will get divided up amongst the other 6 siblings for the future children to climb the tree with. Or if a baby is born and dies shortly after the parent had the child set up to receive earnings of what was entitled, the parent will automatically get back their percentage, or will automatically be divided out once submitted amongst the children of the parent. All children to be adopted or bloodline conceived should be set up to receive a portion of the royal money through the A Services system of Charlie's Royal Family Fund within 84 days or 3 calendar months. Once I go to heaven, the family bloodline will be permanent, where there will be no member added or removed, only having bloodline within the tree. If a bloodline parent instates an adopted child to the royal family tree, that child will be able to live their life out, receiving a portion of the Charlie Royal Family Fund. If non-bloodline dependent has a child, their child will not be entitled to the royal family tree, only when the next tier down advances a tier. All members that are considered spouses, love companions, connected through marriage, whether there was just two in a relationship or many partners connected to a bloodline individual, all the people in the relationship or recognition of marriage will have the right to receive the Charlie Royal Family Fund from the bloodline member lover until they have all perished off this earth. The Charlie Royal Family bloodline roots, as well as other royalties around the world, will be cared for by the people of the world for eternity. When the New World Order goes into effect, all royalty will be able to keep their positive accounts and money and in property or assets of whatever collection of items that they may have. This will include to have up to 100 different properties, not more than 10,000 acres of land allowed to be tax exempt. The cost of any assessment dues on property of the royal inherited estate for the future and land for that is owned to be assessed in the inline main member of the royal family as what they choose to divide up. After Sunday, January 24, 2027, is when all nations will relinquish all control of their country to the New World Order of A Services, or also known as American Constitution of Economics. So no country or royalty will have any control anymore after that date, to include me. Okay, next question. Reporter 2, you mentioned you want to have 400 wives or concubines to live in a palace for the people of the world to donate to and support your family. And why would the world want to support that for? I'm not asking for much from everybody in the world. I wish and I hope for the people to support the future generations of God's Holy Son here on earth, to open it up to 400 different generations throughout the world that can be bearing my child. This is for the future people of the world may connect someday with me, the Messiah's bloodline. Reporter 2, that's a great way you put it, but let me ask, how will you know what woman from within the world to select, and how will you be selecting the women? It will be easy for me, since all I have got to do is on Facebook look at all the beautiful women from the different sites showing these beautiful women. I will accept of my liking with a red heart for a like for that picture of each woman that I find beautiful, where I would like to hear more from the one I had liked with a red heart on Facebook. If I give you a blue thumbs up on a picture, that means you're close, and try to post another picture on Facebook until you get a red heart from me. My Facebook picture is of a gray 5-star book award displayed in a picture saying Scott Charlie for the name. So if you see that gray looking symbol of a 5-star on your picture, you will know you're one of the lucky ones to be selected. Your first and most important step you'll be taking just lets you communicate with me. I'm asking if you're accepted by my liking of your picture for you to contact me. If you've been accepted by the picture and I had liked the red heart, you then may locate my address and send me a letter. Write only on one sheet of paper what you would like to do for fun, a little history of your family, what schooling, academic, or what you may be known for. Stuff of humor and excitement is what I'm looking for. Also, I would like to have 2 3x5 pictures to remember to go along with your letter so I can refer back to you if you are acceptable of what I like. I would like a close-up, full-body shot to see the face and body of a skimpy, sexy clothing or bathing suit. Then have a picture taken above the waist and a close-up to show good feature of the face and cleavage that I may find attractive. If I find your letter interesting and I love the way you look, I will use your contact number to give you a call to talk 30 minutes or up to 1 hour on the phone. If I find you are interesting within 3 months of receiving your letter, depending on the number of women who contact me. So if you make it past the 3rd step, you'll be about halfway there to be selected as a woman of great recognition and honor in the eyes of the world. Realize the women that I select must not have any baggage with them, like having kids or taking care of other family members in a relationship or marriage. The women must be clear of speaking English and writing to where I can understand. Also, there shouldn't be any deficiencies, diseases, medical conditions that may be considered as a burden. Must be fertile to be able to have children. I will overlook most pictures of women with tattoos. This is a turnoff for me. If you use drugs like crystal meth, heroin, LSD, or any other marijuana, other than marijuana than cocaine, I will not accept you as a member of the royal family, and if you had made it into the royal family, I will have you removed from the tree. You don't have to be famous, have college, or accomplish great deeds within the world. You can be a common person that is cheerful and is loving heart. That is what I'm looking for. I will send you some money and directions of what you have to do to where to go. You will be traveling to my hometown to be checked out through a doctor's office of my liking. Just because you're in my town doesn't mean you should visit me. That will be a no-no, where I will feel being stalked by you and may have negative results. So step 1, you get selected from Facebook with a heart like. Step 2, you wrote me a letter with 2 3x5 pictures. Step 3, I will call to talk to you. Step 4, if I feel I felt a connection with you, I will send you a letter within a month with some money and directions on what to do next. You will have to go to a doctor's office in my hometown and answer over 100 questions asked by the doctor as truthfully and honestly as you can. Lab tests will be done with the full physical to be administered to you. Step 5. Of the women who pass the medical questions of my liking, I will have an investigation and criminal background check done on each woman who makes it this far. Step 6 will be all I feel are worthy to stand true to me after the medical and criminal background check is done. I will send out an invitation to the desired woman of my liking to show up at a certain location at a certain time. There will be 10 women invited at a time to show up at these locations, and I address within the letter, it will be 4 hours on a Saturday afternoon where it will be 10 women, me and my wife, to mingle and do activities. Just because you have made it this far doesn't mean you're a shoo-in. Me and my wife will discuss who we feel like having in our family tree to be connected for eternity or for the future generations to come forth. Now you're wondering if you have got accepted after the meet and greet. This is the last step, and I'll call it lucky number 7, because if you got the golden ticket from me, that means I'm willing to accept you in my family tree as a lifelong partner, where you will bear our future children for the world. The golden ticket will be documentation of our commencement to honor one another in the holy commitment of saying we are tied to each other through God's plan for the people for future generations of the world. When you get this ticket, it will come in a wrap box inside of another package, and it will be your last step that you have to do in being selected as one of God's special children to be selected by me. You see, this ticket will be about 4 by 8 inches and will be raised gold pattern on the face of the ticket with the message of commencement, my full name, signature, a fingerprint of the marriage ring finger on the left hand. What each of the that receives the ticket will have to do is sign the ticket, and in a box there will be an ink pad where the ring fingerprint of the left hand will need to complete the commencement to me and God. After you have signed your new name, it will be of your first and last name that you are known for, with the new last name of Chally added after the 2 other names that you are known for, making a 3-name identification. You will then also need to place your ring fingerprint on the selected spot within the gold ticket. What I would like is a 2-minute video or less of the one that has been selected to have the ceremony filmed, with either solo by yourself in the video, friends and family members to watch you open up the present, sign and seal the ceremony with your fingerprint added. I'll then wait for you to have the picture you're holding the golden ticket in front of yourself, and for you to send it to me on text, where I will post it on my Facebook to let the world know who are of the 400 women that have been selected. The tickets will be numbered 1 to 400 only, so each woman that gets selected, you will know by her number what order will fall within to become pregnant. The women I choose must dedicate their life in honoring the world of the future generations. When they commit with accepting to me as being a lifelong companion, that means there will be not any other man in their lives for any of these women during their entire life, of who all fills these shoes to be true to me and the world. If I find proven adultery from any woman within another man while being my secondary wife, I will have her removed from the tree, and if she has a child of mine, that child will be taken care of by one of the other secondary wives in the palace to grow up with, and their other half brothers and half sisters. I don't mind if all my women I choose have bisexual tendencies towards other women of one another, to fill the gap or hole in one's heart amongst the other wives, due to the fact I won't be able to be with all 400 wives every day, and I want them to have a feeling that they are loved. The palace where the women will be living will be located in Monticello, Iowa, and will have to erect before the New World Order goes into effect. It will consist of 400 individual 1,200 square foot apartments where each woman of the 400 will set up their liking of their living quarters as they wish. So that means I have got to have all the women to be accepted to the quarters or to the royal family tree by that time. So that tells me it will be January 2026 when I have selected all 400 women. That time frame, 2.5 years to gather all the women of my liking. If I'm known to the world and accepted as the Messiah by July 24, 2023, that would tell me that the New World Order should be completed and come into effect sometime around or on the 24th of January 2027. I will say stay in contact with all the women that are to live in the palace to make sure all are taken care of accordingly. These women do not have to be tied down to the palace. They can spend time away and do other things, like travel or visit friends, relatives throughout the year as they wish. I would like for them to spend at least 6 months out of the year in the palace. I would like 400 women to live in the palace until all our children are out of college or school. They may choose to live anywhere in the world after that. Now, for the palace, it will be a beautiful, luxurious, and for the woman's desires. There will be 3 main structures under a large glass canopy that will look like a pyramid to allow a vast amount of living space under a roof. The structure on both sides will consist of 100 units, 25 units per floor, 4 stories tall under a pyramid canopy with a center structure 2 or 3 stories taller of 200 units. This will be 100 units facing both sides towards other complexes under the canopy of the glass on all sides. There will be balconies and walkways around each of the 3 structures under the roof with stairs and elevators of easy accessibility. It will be climate controlled inside the temple, where it will be kept cool during the summer and warm during the winter. I'm guessing that the temple will consist of a building foundation of 666 foot by 666 foot for the base of the glass pyramid structure to be made. Understand that the space that is between the buildings within the roof of the pyramid will be filled with cement paving, botanical gardens, grass, palm trees, children's playgrounds, volleyball courts, tennis courts, saunas, jacuzzi, swimming pools, picnic areas, whatever the women decide to have done for their home. They can change their living area to their liking as time goes to fit them best. There will be a choice the women will have to decide on when they start designing their quarters, and that is 7 choices from all the name brand restaurants in the states to choose to have in their temple. So they will have at any time during the day, evening, the choices of 7 different restaurants to choose from, like a steakhouse, Italian, Chinese, Mexican, or any fast food like McDonald's, Taco Bell will be paid for by me or the people. Of course, on the property there will be a workout center, track for running on, a golf course, a basketball, pickleball, racquetball court, horse stables, plenty of acreage to motorbike, dune buggy on, plenty of woods for my future family to hunt, and to have the accessibility to venture within the land that be meant for the royal family to use. There will be a 10-foot high wall with lighting and wire on top constructed going all the way around the property with access gates, security guards, and surveillance cameras. Only authorized people will be able to enter the premises from all the different members from the royal family that live on the royal property. And I will have a mansion separately from the palace where nearby me and my wife will live. There will be an underground tunnels connecting the palace and all of their homes on the royal property. Realize I'm 52 years old at this time while I'm writing this new world order or policy for the people. I'm willing to gift the world with my dependents, but I will not impregnate any woman before the new world order is established for the people. The date I see for the new world order to go into effect at this time is Sunday, the 24th of January, 2027. That means the first woman I have selected for my secondary wife will have the ability to become pregnant as early as Monday, the 25th of January, 2027. All women will take their turn in the sequence order that I had selected them in. They will have 6 days to spend with me in order to try to bear a child from me. Sundays are the 7th day. I believe you are not supposed to work or cut your vineyards or plant your fields of that sort. So I believe it's not good to try to conceive children on Sundays. Also realize I will be 56 years old in 2027. And it will be 25 plus years since I knew I was fertile with my last child from my wife. So I don't know. I don't want to be tested for the world to know yes or no, but wait until the time to see if the world is meant to have children from me as God's holy son. I may put some semen on ice for the future fertilization of women, but I haven't decided for sure yet. I'll be around 63 years old by the time I rotate through all the women, with granting each woman the quality time being with me. After all the women have had their time with me, I will randomly go and pick the women from the palace who are willing to bear more children until I'm unable to conceive any more children. The ages of women I choose may be as early as 16 years of age and probably not older than 36 years of age. Of what I say, I won't have sex with any woman under the age of 18 by the 25th of January 2027. So if you fit this bracket, try to post. Maybe you might be destined. Now, you're thinking, what if I'm sterile after all those years? Well, my backup plan will be for one or more of my 6 sons to step up or forward to handle the commitment to impregnate as many of the 400 women as possible. It could be through natural sex, artificial insemination, by using my son's semen to impregnate the 400 women.